Florida, Mr. Gates. I'm sorry, Mr. Waltz. Big difference.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. General Kurilla, these should be, I think, very easy questions, but important to get on the record. On the Abbeygate families, I understand the reinvestigation is complete, correct?
The supplemental review is complete, and out of respect for the families, we're going to be briefing them in the next several weeks.
Can I ask, they have repeatedly asked me that you have those families together for that briefing rather than individually?
100%, Congressman. We've invited them to a specific date, and we have many of them that have.
Can I also ask that we have no time limit on that briefing?
There will be no
lock
time
them in the room until they're done asking questions.
We will stay as long as they want and answer all the questions.
Fantastic. Can I also ask, and here's a tough one, but can we declassify whatever needs to be declassified to give them the answers they need, or give them temporary read-ons? I don't care, but let's not have.
We are doing the latter, Congressman, and we are giving them all the information that they require.
That's great to hear. Thank you, General Kurilla. Now let's switch to, I think, some very important statements you've made on Iran. I think the best way to stop the Houthis is to dry up the supplies from Iran.
I agree.
And the best way to do that is to dry up the cash in Tehran, correct?
I agree.
And as you've said, that Iran's selling 90% of its illegal, illicit, sanctioned oil to China, correct?
Correct.
So really, the heart of the matter, and let's just, nothing like visuals. Let's look at all of Iranian oil that is going this way, right? I mean, the money is here, and the money's coming from here, correct? Interestingly, though, the oil coming from Gulf and other partners that are coming through here to Europe, that's what the Houthis are hitting, correct?
They are.
So, going back to the money in Iran, we've got Hezbollah being funded by Iran, correct?
Correct.
We have Hamas being funded by Iran, correct?
Correct.
We have the Houthis being funded by Iran.
Correct.
Correct. We've got all the militias in Iraq.
And
We now have dead Americans because of the money being going back to Iran, correct? All roads go back to Iran, but really, it's Chinese money that is fueling Iran, that is fueling terrorism.
90% of the Iranian oil goes to China.
And yet all of our policy is focused on the symptoms of the disease, now a port dealing with the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, a coalition shooting down $50,000 drones with $2 million missiles. Now the Houthis are threatening to go at the Indian Ocean as well. We've got shipping being diverted all the way around the Cape of Good Hope. Our policy is focused on the symptoms, not the core problems, not the disease, which is Beijing and their relationship and funding of Tehran. Would you disagree with that?
I think Iran is the single biggest malign actor in the Middle East.
So here's my question. Dr. Wallander, responsible for policy. How have we fundamentally shifted our policy to dry up the cash in Iran? And please don't tell me their oil is sanctioned. I know the sanctions. The House has passed the SHIP Act, which will put secondary sanctions on the shipping companies, the ports, the Chinese buyers. Would you support that as a matter of policy? Secondary sanctions on China.
Congressman, your analysis is compelling. On the specific question, I would have to defer to the Treasury Department, which is responsible for...
Well, you as a matter... So here's the problem, Dr. Wallander, and you just kicked the can there. Nice try. Bad policy has these generals and our military... Yeah, I mean, the bad policy is the tail wagging the dog here, running around being as target practice around the desert and in the Red Sea. Meanwhile, what are the consequences of that? Well, we are burning naval readiness, are we not, in the Red Sea and in the Mediterranean? General Kurilla? We're using a lot of munitions. We're burning readiness. For every month that a ship's extended, you're burning 2 months that it now has to be in dry dock. We're out of amphibs. You know the big winner here? The big winner is China. Because rather than those ships being in the Indo-Pacific, they're running around the Red Sea and they're running around the Mediterranean, and now we're going to build a port. I mean, I know we're going to talk about it in a classified session, General Krilla, but are you extremely concerned about force protection for that port from
Force protection is my
drones,
priority.
from missiles, from underwater unmanned vehicles, all of which
Gentleman's
will be
time's
supplied by
expired.
Iran?
Gentleman's time's
This
expired.
is
Chair now recognizes the
asinine,
gentlelady
Mr.
from New Jersey, Ms. Sherrill.